Alright guys, so before I go on to this video, I will say that the games for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee have been leaked, or there have been early copies of these games surfacing however you want to say it, whether it be like an early copy, some store broke their free pass or whatever, their mom and pop stores, whatever, etc, etc, and someone just so happens to have dumped the game already. I don't think it's available anywhere else, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to pretty much discuss the contents of the Datamine. So we did cover this like last year for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and this year will be no different with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. We'll be looking through some of the stuff that's in there, since this is sort of like is a mainline game, isn't a mainline game, even though that's kind of like drawing very, very close to a spin-off, even though a lot of people are kind of like divisive on it, but then again, I kind of understand why. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to discuss the facts with you, and what's in the game, and what's in the content, so hence why you guys clicked on this video, So without further ado, here is the data mine for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, so this might take a few videos or not, so without further ado, we'll see you. Alright, so big thanks to Kaphotics, and I guess Series M, or the other Datamine people who are looking into the information for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. So as these people are actually looking into the game, seeing what changes have occurred obviously with the game going to the Nintendo Switch, and if there's any game mechanic changes and whatnot, since there's a lot to cover, from like base stats, like TMs and all that stuff, so, and of course Pokemon. So right now, here's the first one. By the way, we're gonna be looking through Kaphotics tweet, so if you guys don't mind. So here we have Melmetal's base stats, and it's kind of interesting. Melmetal stats are 46 HP, 65 adds attack and defense, 55 special attack, 35 special defense, and speed is 34 with the ability Magnapulse. So kind of an interesting Pokemon. Kind of makes sense given how they showcased this guy pulling magnets, which during the trailer and all this stuff. But even for its competitive use, like Melmetal actually it's very interesting if you think about it, because you could potentially trap steel types. I don't know if this thing would be viable in like the lower tiers or whatever, but it's definitely an interesting Pokemon per se. So, well, it depends on what this guy gets in terms of its coverage, but chances are likely you might see this thing in the lower tiers, maybe like LC. But then again, I don't play those like lower tier formats as often as I do. So then we have Melmetal stats, which it's kind of interesting because Melmetal is basically like a bulky Registeel from the physical side, as you can see, with 135 HP, 143 attack and defense, 80 special attack, 65 special defense, and a very slow 34 speed, with a BST equaling that of 600, and having the ability Iron Fist. Now, this thing is a very, very, very tankish Pokemon if you think about it. So, to give you an idea of how tanky this thing could be, I'll remove leftovers because there's no thing. This thing can take a hit from Charizard X, or maybe, so it could live one hit. So maybe, and it does respectable amount of damage back. So, and let me see. Let's get Rhydon. Then again, Rhydon doesn't have a Valide, so and it has access to this one move called, I think, I forgot what it was. Iron Bash? I forgot what it is, but it's basically a base 60 power move that has a 30% chance to flinch. Of course, with your speed stat, you're not going to be able to be flinching anything anytime soon, but it might be boosted with Iron Fist. I think that's the catch of it, so even then, I put like Meteor Match to replicate this, and it's already doing a lot to this rifle with just HP investment. So maybe if you think about it, like this thing might have some recovery options, maybe Drain Punch, but I put Ice Punch and Thunder Punch for a reason there. We'll get into that in a bit. So, but it could get access to these moves, and all these attacks, by the way, are increased by Iron Fist by like 1.2. These are just sort of as examples. We don't know like Melmetal's full move pool coverage, but it'll be interesting to see once it comes out. So I think by the time like this video comes out, like we'll know it's BST. But yeah, like this thing is a tank. Just eat up hits if you ask me. So get Aerodactyl, like Mega Aero, like you're able to eat up this Earthquake, like guarantee 4 kill. Then you have Gyarados. These are even funnier because like look at this. By the way, I'm just using Megas, by the way. Just at level 50s. But then again, you know what? Let's just put level 100s. And this is an impish like Melmetal or as a Registeel. So you can see this guy can eat up hits very nicely. So Melmetal, if it ever gets released in I doubt they'll ever patch up Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but with this guy. But for the upcoming games for Gen 8, like this guy could be very, very good in a tankish Pokemon for like Draft League or even like for its kind. But then again, we'll have to wait and see. So, all right. So the next thing we have to talk about are the stats for these guys, and these guys are the starters Pokemon for Pikachu and Eevee. Actually I think we've all known that these two are gonna get like stat buffs in some fashion, but I think this is pretty much confirmation at this point. So Pikachu has a BST of, by the way, this is going from HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed, going from that order. So this has a BST of 45, 80, 50, 75, 60, and 120. So Pikachu got 120 speed now, and good offensive like pool for like a base Pokemon for like Pikachu. And Eevee is no better. Like it's pretty much very tanky now, with 65 HP, 75 attack, like 70 defense, 65 what was it, special attack, 85 special defense, and 75 and I'm gonna say it's speed. So this thing has slightly higher BST, but of course Pikachu is the more glass cannon of the two. Eevee is the more tank. It kind of makes sense because Eevee has access to that one Z move, like Extreme Evo Boost, so it could probably take advantage of this if this carries over. And a Pikachu holding a Light Ball with this thing could actually be a very solid glass cannon. So I don't know what that how that make a hit. So yeah. Okay, and then you have like the fact that like these two can actually be flawless IVs. So all you're doing, and they, even though they can't be shiny, but it's really nice because if you think about it, like you ever seen those trainers like trying to soft reset for like Pokemon? All you have to do is just soft reset for the nature, and that's it. That's really all you have to do. Like, so imagine with these guys, like being able to transfer these guys to other games. Like, even though I doubt it, it might be like the Spiky Pikachu, like how Spiky Pikachu was, where you can't transfer it to Heart Gold, Silver to another game. But it'll be interesting to see if this Pikachu will be, or Eevee, or gonna be usable during these games, or if they have other further boosts. So they can't be shiny, by the way. So yeah. Apparently Archer's involved in the story. I don't know if that was a major story spoiler, but sorry about that. Alright, then there's this thing right here that is very interesting. And that is the fact that certain moves actually got buffed. So Absorb went from a base 20 power to base 40, now with the 15 base power points, and Mega Drain actually becomes the new Giga Drain. I guess they're trying to make this as close to the original games as possible. But if Mega Drain got this much buffed, imagine Giga Drain to like 40 to 75. Just imagine Giga Drain now. And look at Solar Beam and Sky Attack. 120 to 200. I don't know if that's like Game Freak or Troll Freak. I don't know what they're doing here, but yeah, yeah, like they said, power her, unburden her Lucha is about to start. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like one of the strongest Z move attacks is Z Solar Beam. And then you have, and it's like I think it's very on the cusp of being like 100 or two-face 200. I think it's like 195, 185. I don't know, but still like Solar Beam now doing this much damage is just insane. Like imagine like from a stab grass type Pokemon, like this is like face 300, and it's almost as strong as Explosion. Now there has to be like a catch for this because like I can't believe that Game Freak just have. Well, then again, this is Game Freak, so they're always doing power creeps if you ask me. So yeah, so that's all I have to say. But grass types certainly got buffed. So it seems like the friendship you build with Pikachu, your Pokemon, has returned, has beyond return and frustration. So what they're meaning by this is pretty much what they're talking about regarding the Pikachu and Eevee's important moves and whatnot. So as you can see, this is sort of a from Courage Kaphotics. They made like a sort of a PowerPoint / spreadsheet of how of all the new moves from introduced into this game, including double Iron Bash here. So Sippy Zap actually is basically electric move, but Power 50, and it's actually good. It's priority 2, so it's actually a good priority option here. Slishy Slash is like in water. I don't know what quality is means, but you have a very good, powerful water move here, and it can actually inflict us paralysis as well. So, Floaty Flow is, I think, flying, and you can actually flinch stuff, I think. So, but you have a good flying move there. Pika-Pow is technically the versions of Volt Tackle, I believe, and in a way, it depends on. No, it's not. Am I reading that correctly? No, I don't. So, no, it's not. But this thing apparently, like, both Pika-Pow and Vivi Volley are like both, they're essentially return and frustration of their type. Let's say, like, Pika-Pow is electric, Vivi Volley is like basically like, basically return. But the only difference is that they have, their accuracy is like unchecked. So when you see 101, it's basically like, oh, it's like, it's perfectly accurate. So as you can see, and then you see all these the moves: Bouncy Bubble, Buzzy Buzz, Sizzly Side, Glitzy Glow, Batty Bad. People are still salty about that one. Sappy Seed, Freeze Frost, Sparky Swirl, and also Barley. Volley, I can't pronounce that. Vivi Volley. They actually like are like Eevee's I believe their main coverage options and whatnot. So and I think you can tutor these as well via like someone from like some place. So I forgot the exact city, but might be from Pewter. Yeah. And then like I think some of these like Buzzy Buzz, Sizzly Slide, and Buzzy Buzz and not Buzzy Buzz, but Sizzly Side actually like inflict 100% like paralysis and burn, which is actually pretty insane if you think about it. Oh, thank God they don't have freeze. That would have been like hilariously broken. Imagine just using this guy and just freezing people. So, and then double. I think then there's their double Iron Bash, which is basically Melmetal's signature move, and it hits 2 times. So, and it has a flinch chance of 30%. So, I don't know if it's for each hit or for one hit, but I'm not so sure. So, but it could be interesting. Then again, this Pokemon is very slow, so again, maybe we get tricked from setup, but that's pretty much all I have to say. So, these are like the base powers of these moves. The final, like most of these are like around base 90 and whatnot. This is basically a Sippy Zap is basically like a electric quick attack in a way. So yeah. Of course, like these Pokemon are actually these At this point, you guys should probably know that the Pikachu and Eevee are like different Pokemon or forms respectively. So yeah. Then you have like some, obviously I think people learned about the trades. There are Lowlands, and there's pretty drastic stuff. Like the mobile ranges are pretty drastic. And apparently it looks like well documentation of trades since people are asking levels. Guess they must have found something there. Looks like post game gym leaders are in, so that's really nice. Oh shit, alright, I'm gonna cut that part out. Alright, so here's a list of all the TMs in the game. So it might not be in like it may be small, but this is probably the most compact TMs list I've seen that's like actually useful with all the viable moves. So as you can see, like they reintroduced some old Gen 1 moves like Mega Drain, I think Teleport, Payday. I think Dream Eater was I think Dream Eater has always been like a TM, but still and Tri Attack, but they condensed this TM and list down very significantly, and they also changed the order of some of these moves as well. Most of the TMs kind of like survived, like Earthquake, you know, the Elemental Punch. No, the Elemental Punches were from Gen 2 actually came in. Like, they're actually moved that are currently move tutors in the current games are now in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee as TMs. So that's pretty interesting if you ask me. So here's the full list. TM H1 is Headbutt, 2 is Taunt, 3 is Helping Hand for doubles, 4 is Teleport, 5 is Rest, 6 is Light Screen, 7 is Protect, 8 is Substitute, 9 is Reflect, Dig, Will-O-Wisp, we're gonna just name them off right here, so Facade, Brick Break, Fly, and also keep in mind that some of the HMs also stayed on, so Fly, Stacer Toss, Thunder Wave, Dragon Tail, U-Turn, Iron Tail, Dark Pulse, Foul Play, Rock Slide, Thunder Punch, X Scissor, Waterfall, Poison Jab, Toxic, Tri Attack, Scald, Bulk Up, Fire Punch, Dazzling Gleam, Calm Mind, Dragon Pulse, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch. I think I already mentioned Fire Punch. Flamethrower, Thunder, Outrage, which is very interesting. Did they ever have a Dragon Claw here? Just noticed. Psychic, Earthquake, Self-Destruct, which is actually interesting because Explosion isn't here. Shadow Ball, this one's a big one. Play Rough is a TM now, so that's interesting. Surf, Hyper Beam, Superpower, Roost, Blizzard, Sludge Bomb, Mega Drain, with the buff, so it's pretty much Giga Drain. Flash Cannon, Ice Beam, Stealth Rocks, which returns as being a TM now. Or Payday, Drill Run, Mega Drain. No, I think Mega Drain's already mentioned. Giga Drain and Mega Horn. So basically, a lot of these moves, like I believe we haven't seen the Elemental Punches as TMs in a while. Then the new moves like Play Rough. I think I think that's the only new one in the current games, like, you know, from Gen 6 onward. But yeah, like Play Rough being a TM is pretty huge if you ask me. Since maybe you could teach it to like maybe other Pokemon can learn it. So far we don't have a information on the move pool distribution. If that does come out, I'm gonna probably make a separate video on it. So yeah. So I think this is all the TMs for this game, and basically it's very compact if you see, as most of the TMs survived from the old games. I think they from like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, we had like 100, 101 or something, but now it's been condensed to 60, which I could see why they did this, because they want the players to not get overwhelmed by all these TMs and HMs, but at the same time these are actually more useful, the more useful ones. So yeah, as well as like some of the move Twitter ones that often get seen in competitive play. So yeah, so alright, then you have like apparently you can get this is part of a minor spoiler for the story. I think you can only get the Mega Evolutions via becoming champion and whatnot. So basically, you can buy them once you become champion and whatnot. So yeah, not much to say there. So now this part is pretty much interesting because it talks about like the possible like changes to like our stat rework for this game, similar to how what happened between Gen 2 to Gen 3, where like IVs, EVs replaced the DV system in Gen 2 and Gen 1. So looks like the maximum amount of candies used for a stat is 200, but it looks like it's directly added to the calculated stat after a friendship boost. Looks like stats are gonna be crazy. So also, there's also another thing I believe that they talked about how certain stats with friendship boosts, you can get a plus 10 like boost immediately as well. So candy boosted stats are intentionally called awakened values. TL, STRD, STD. Awakening of attack boosts are permanent as far as we can tell. So whatever so basically speaking, we're getting like these massive stat boosts to the Pokemon now, almost akin to how like in RBY and even Gold and Silver are kind of like they got like everything got boosted, but I don't know if there's an upper limit to it. So that's the thing that people are finding out or whatever. So rough documentation of CP calc. So pretty much this is the formula. So sum of stats, no awakening level. So if you guys have any idea what this is, so plug it in. So then you have Cinnabar item, which is pretty much generic. I think they haven't shown this off because I think there's a volcano on the side to explore, but I don't think they were gonna talk about that until like the very end. So yeah. Alright, so in terms of other stuff, there isn't any post-game region islands to set up for 7 to Fire Elite Green, which is unfortunate, but I think they already confirmed this. So here's like a data dump of all the med locations, items, and moves for all languages. If you guys want to see that, I'll just link it. I'll just link his Twitter. You could just find it from there. And other stuff like he might just data mine as well. So. And some of the information they have there isn't as relevant because that's usually placeholders like, oh, VGC Worlds 2019 or 2018 to have that, or Pokemon movie or event Pokemon. They have that just in case like they need it for something. So apparently, only Gen 1 species plus Meltan lines have models. Pokemon Plus, Balm has sent Wave 5 for various tries. Again, only. I think this what he's trying to say is like only. Cancel Pokemon, whatever their forms are, whether it be the Megas or the Alolan, and as well as the Meltan line is available in the game. So looks like these games won't have any Gen 2, Gen 7 games unless they're Gen 7 lines, unless Game Freak or Nintendo decide, hey, let's maybe add them in. So, and then of course one of the requirements for the gyms is that you have to capture 50 different Pokemon species in your decks. And yeah, so I don't know how you guys are gonna do or work that out, but especially if you're doing a Nuzlocke, though I think it's like pretty much you should just use the first Pokemon you catch anyway. So and then whatever you have, it's like just catch fodder. So yeah, then you have like this new system where our new simple system where you have PKM as the symbol you see is like a favorite, similar to how you could favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Go, you could favorite Pokemon in Let's Go as well, and that's the symbol for it. So, and also it's apparently it's rule legal to play with. So I guess those are that's pretty much the symbol similar to if a pentagon or the plus sign or the virtual console sign, whether it shows that oh, this Pokemon's from this game. So yeah. Yeah, now apparently stationary battles are time gated to 5 minutes. I gotta catch them all and real fast. So with this image, apparently you have to catch this Snorlax in 5 minutes, otherwise it flees. So I think this applies to Mewtwo and the Moltres and the birds. So examples are Articuno. So training rates are the same. It's before 1 in 4096, and it's obtained via Shiny Charm is obtained from Game Director after completing the deck. So basically, you don't need to get Mew to get the Shiny Charm. So that's fortunate. If you keep catching the same Pokemon over and over, you will have a better chance of meeting really strong ones. If you keep going, I hear you'll be likely to run into a shiny. Now, what does this mean? It's basically what I'll show you this. So, apparently this way, like this system, like if you're catching the same Pokemon over and over and over, you have a good chance to get good IV Pokemon. And even here, as you can see, like this is pretty much huge when it comes to competitive. I'm gonna be discussing why. You could pretty much get, like right here, a flawless 6 IV, like a 6 IV at the very bottom right here, even though this says it, like a flawless 6 IV, potentially like a Charmander, Bulbasaur. Like, if you could get a 6 IV Pokemon and you could have a way to control the nature, that means you don't have to worry about breeding them on. You just have to catch the Pokemon continuously over and over, which is, even then, that's going to be a grind in itself. But still, that's one way to get the Pokemon, like 5 IVs, you know? If in order to guarantee it, you need to have a chain of count of 31 plus. And apparently the shiny rule is at 2 or 4. So I guess it's a boosted rate, so depending on that, so was able to poke around the code and here's what I think the boosted rates depending on the exchange are, so that's what he says. So as far as you know, there's a new mechanic to replace Synchronize. The game checks the data to force nature now, but immediately below gets the IV shiny count. So you have to, apparently, like, you could change the IVs and shinies. I think not the IVs, but the nature. I think we knew about that from the direct. So yeah. Verification isn't possible. You don't likely get a shiny boost at the start. It's likely shiny rolls. So basically it's like sort of like a probability chance, I guess. So it looks like they're just changing up the stuff or whatever, so yeah. So I guess that's all that we have so far, so but I think this one's the big one. The fact that you can actually catch potentially 6 IV Pokemon in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, so the fact that, yes, it's gonna be a grind trying to catch Pokemon over and over, like, and all, but I guess the trade-off is gonna be like, yeah, that's how you get your Pokemon to battle and train with, so especially once you get the nature locked down and the Pokemon location, then yeah, you just start battling immediately, so it might take a while, but I think people over time will be able to have access to these Pokemon, these 5 IV Pokemon. And I actually hope that this system actually carries over in the upcoming Gen 8 games, because if you think about it, now we have access to 6 IV Pokemon. And imagine if we could do that for Ditto. Now you can get a 6 IV Ditto in the wild. If you could just chain, let's say, like a Ditto for like 31 plus and just get a 6 IV Ditto, or chain a certain Pokemon to get a 6 IV Mon, and then it just becomes a matter of just getting them on, breeding it over and over. You don't have to worry about the IVs anymore. You just have to breed the stats, and then like hopefully maybe change the stuff here and there, like like the 5 IV system for breeding, and yeah, and you'll pretty much make it like far less of a, like, I don't want to say drag, but like less time consuming to do so. Of course, this is technically still doing this, like you have to like catch the same Pokemon over and over and over, but of course, like, this is the best way to do so. So anyways, I think I'll leave it off right here. So there hasn't been any other information I've seen, so there's other stuff that I would consider story spoilers, but I'll let you guys look into Kaphotics or Kurt's Twitter, as he has other information about this game that'll probably be released, like Datamine or whatever, upon like further time. So hopefully we get an idea what's going on. So, alright. So for now, I'll be just heading off to sleep and just hoping that there's other stuff. But this will be the only video that I make. So about this. So hope you guys find this video informative. As I'll see you guys next time. So peace.